Take over. Well, good morning. Good morning to you. Welcome to the driver's seat, where it's all about empowering you through conversations that move employee engagement forward. We have a treat for you today. Today's episode is all about rest stops and pit crews. My name is Consuela Frazier. I'm with Human Resources at the Center for Public Leadership and Learning. And today with me is my crew. First of all, Said Moffitt. Would you like to say hello, Said?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's driver's seat. Happy Friday Eve. You're in for a real treat.
All right. And Oninye?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this episode of The Driver's Seat. We are so happy to have you all here with us today. Sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy.
And our division manager, Denise White.
Oh, wow. Thank you for that, Denise White. Consuela. Good morning, everyone. Glad to see you. And we're in for another great time. It's just the girls today. Ray is out sharpening his sword, getting some more knowledge and wisdom and things on the certification that will help us do what we do better. So we're looking forward to a great time today. Thanks for being here.
All right. Thank you, Denise. Let's see what's in store for today. All right. You know how we do it here at CPLL. Before we dive into content, we always like to do a CBC, connect before content. So here's how this one is going to work. You see the icons on the screen. Now, you may not know how to use those icons, so you can use any icons, any GIFs, any emojis that you want to use to express what you want to express, including words. So here's the question. Which simple wellness practice helps you to feel recharged on a busy workday? Is it taking a short walk or stretch break? Stepping away for a few minutes of quiet or breathing? Connecting briefly with a colleague or friend? Or drinking water and having a healthy snack? For example, I like to take a stretch break during a busy workday to recharge. Let's see what's in the chat. Okay, I see someone saying greetings, and then I see Cheryl saying taking a walk. Beth says walk. Seddon says drinking water. Ellis Zulika, I don't want to butcher your name. Definitely stepping away. A lot of people like to step away, take a walk. Some people like to drink water. I see some hugs. Connecting with friends, taking a walk. Number two, stepping away. All right. A lot of stepping away. All of the above. I know I like to do all of the above also. All right, and stepping away. Hello, drinking water. All right, a variety of answers there to recharge on a busy workday. Whatever helps you to recharge. That's what it's all about. Okay, so for today's anticipated outcome, as usual, we want you to discover how to apply employee engagement drivers to spark positive change. And you may be wondering, well, what do you mean by drivers? The drivers are actually on this wheel in front of you. So today's driver is all about benefits and wellness. And here to talk about our key driver spotlight is Onyinye. Take it away, Onyinye. Okay, it looks Onyinye may be having a little difficulty with her technical difficulty, which that can happen sometimes. So what we want you to know, the main thing that we want you to know about this key driver spotlight, it's all about benefits and wellness. Employees perceive that their health, their well-being, and their life outside of work are supported and valued. So it's not just about within work, but it's also about the life outside of work. All right, thank you. And now our division manager, Denise, is going to introduce our special guest speaker. Denise?
All right. Thank you, Consuela. And I hope everyone's gotten their sound. Everybody can hear. I saw a few things in the chat earlier that people couldn't hear, but then it was fixed. So give me some thumbs up. You can sound enough loud and clear. Lovely, wonderful, 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 wonderful. Well, we have some folks monitoring the chat. So if there's some issues, they can check through and see what we can do on our end. I am incredible. We're always excited, right, with every guest that we have. But this is one of our phenomenal leaders in the HR department, and many of you may know him. So I'll do the official introduction before we bring him on, and then we'll learn a little bit more about him. But I am so excited that Sean Small accepted our invitation to join us in the driver's seat. Sean is a seasoned public health professional with extensive experience leading community and corporate wellness initiatives within the city of Houston. As the Wellness and EAP Division Manager, he specializes in program development, outreach, and evaluation aimed at improving the overall health culture of organizations. With a results-oriented approach and a strong commitment to supporting employee well-being, Sean focuses on helping individuals and teams achieve sustainable, optimal wellness in both their work and daily lives. Driver's seat audience today, and family and community, give a round of applause for Sean Small.
Good morning, everyone. I hope y'all can hear me. I also have sound issues at times, so I hope y'all can hear me.
Yes, we can. Seems like you're going in and out a bit, but we're gonna get
Okay.
through. No, that's good. Stay right there.
All right. Awesome.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome and the build up. Y'all made me feel special. I don't know who y'all was talking
You are
about.
special. You are special. We're a special group of people and family here at the city of Houston. This is why we're doing all that we can do to support each other, right?
Thank you all.
So
Thank you all.
you're quite welcome. There it is. That's that DJ voice. He's ready now. But I do this, whoever is hosting, when we do these, we have our formal introductions. And then what we do is, we want to really find out more about you, the person. So I've given this glowing formal introduction. And I'm sure we'll have just our cameras up for the two of us outside of the PowerPoint here in a second. Tech is being tech today, but at least we can see you. It is. But I can tell you, from a personal standpoint, Sean has been a phenomenal person to collaborate. I value him as a professional. He has a passion for wellness, for what he does. Not only Sean, but everyone on their team. These folks live and breathe and sleep and dream how we can impact the health and wellness of City of Houston employees. So before we get into the real interview, tell us a little bit about you as the person. I almost went to our other link. We found out that some of his family is from very close to my hometown. So
That's right.
I won't bring that city up.
We won't bring that up.
We won't bring that up. We won't bring it up. But
Right.
we found out some other connections that we've had not too long ago, and I know he has two kings and one princess in the
That's right.
house.
That's
But
right.
just tell
That's
them a
right.
little bit about who you are as a person, Sean.
Just a little bit about me, and I'm not one that likes to go on and on about myself, but everything that makes me informs what I do here at the City of Houston. So as Denise said, we really do try to live the mission of wellness, live the mission of the EAP, live the mission of being healthy. And so, like I said, everything in my development that has brought me to this point is still a part of that. So got out of school, has moved around a lot. So I've lived a little bit of everywhere. I claim California is home, so I hope I don't offend anybody, but that's home. Grew up in Los Angeles, went to college in Alabama, grad school in Florida and Tennessee, did some time in med school, but then I really shifted my focus to the public health sector because I think that's the gap that's missing. We have some great providers, some great doctors, some great physicians, and some not so great if we're being honest. But we have a lot of people have great providers. The problem is there's always what you hear from the doctor and what you're doing in your daily lives. And that's for me, public health education. That's where I live. I live in that space. And even from before coming to the city, that's the space I chose to occupy. So coming to the city was kind of a full circle moment, being able to do what I was passionate about with such a great and diverse and vibrant culture of individuals. But beyond that, I'm a dad. I got plenty of dad jokes. I'm as Denise said, three beautiful children who keep me up at all hours of the night. But it's getting better. It's getting better. So I have two sons and a daughter, and my daughter's the youngest. So I'll let y'all guess who runs the house. But it's no mystery. Been married for almost 15 years, and like I said, I'm just trying to make a beautiful space for my people, my family, which includes my City of Houston employees, and I don't take the responsibility lightly. As Denise said, myself, I can speak for my team. This is what we're all about. This is what we're all about. Don't get me wrong, we still do all the other things that we need to do and hear plans and all that stuff. I'm not saying that's not paramount and also part of the puzzle. But what we do in helping employees, impacting their health on a daily basis, that's the mission, that's the plan, that's what we're here to do. And so I appreciate the opportunity to talk about it. I
Yes.
appreciate the energy y'all came on the call with. Y'all got me, woke me up. I said, "Oh,
All
okay,
right.
let me get
Wonderful.
ready." So looking forward to it. And thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, certainly, certainly. So glad to have you. And I have thoroughly been impressed, not only for what I've seen you do here, but seeing how you're recognized outside of our organization, just in the space, and the recognitions and people that want you to come share what you're doing and your insight. It says a lot, and so. I'm just so glad you could be here. We couldn't have anybody else. Next time, maybe we can bring yourself and AD Myers,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely, absolutely.
Assistant Director for Benefits. But with this being benefits and wellness, we sort of wanted to pull this one out first. And this isn't anything that's going away. We're only going to make the
That's
driver's
right.
seat better and expand it more. So if you're ready, let's buckle
Ready.
in.
I'm ready. Let's
All
jump
right,
in.
and get started. So I love having organic conversations, so we do have some questions we want to sort of get to. But as always, if there's anybody new in our audience, you've heard me talk about diamond detours. So as the conversation is going on organically, there may be something that I pull that thread and we follow that detour, and it's all leading us to what we want people to be able to get from this as an individual, if they're a supervisor, everybody leave with something that will understand how critical benefits and wellness, specifically wellness, how that ties into employee engagement, because it does. It's one of the things that drives how people connect with an organization, how they feel about that organization, which impacts the effort that they give and what they want to do in their work. All of that works together, right?
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
The first question I want to ask you today, Sean, is how do you define well being in the workplace and why you see that as a critical driver of employee engagement?
Great question. And I don't. I'll try to not sermonize and get into talking too much, but I'm actually one. Even though I work in this space, and I hope it's not too provocative. I'm tired of the word wellness. I'm tired
Ah,
of
talk about it.
the word the well-being and the thing. And the reason I say that, and I hope y'all stick with me, the reason I say that is that term has been co-opted and almost I'll say, exploited to mean anything. Wellness from a well-being from a definitional standpoint is a state of homeostasis. So when we talk about well-being in the workplace, too often we talk about only the workplace. When in actuality, I'll ask it in the form of a question. Can I be well if everything's great at the job, but the second I get in my car, all hell breaks loose? Can I truly be well if I go home to unrest or financial struggles or issues with my family or chronic disease plaguing my health? Even if work is perfect, let's imagine a scenario where work is perfect. When I get home, if things are not also well, it's going to affect how I show up at work the next day. And so when we talk about workplace well-being, yes, there's a lot of things an organization can do and there's a culture they can set. And just one of the aims that we try to do to make sure things are good at work. But if we're not addressing the whole person inside of work and outside of work and putting in place structures and resource to address the whole person,
Yes,
then can we ever truly achieve even workplace well-being?
yes,
So that's kind of a roundabout way of saying I want to address well-being across the board, set a culture in our organization that supports our employees, and then let the tentacles of that spread out such that well-being is just our norm. That's just who we are, right? And so one of the things that came out of the pandemic that we really, really saw is employees kind of woke up, were forced to wake up and say, whoa, wait a minute, you know, what is the organization doing for me to ensure my health and safety? And that was exacerbated because of the pandemic. Like, is the organization providing me masks, social distancing measures, and are they allowing me to work from home? And we can go on and on and on. But coming out of the pandemic, it showed us, well, now that's the focus. It's kind of we even see job interviews where people are asking,
yes.
okay, well, what measures does your organization have around wellness and well-being and happiness and work-life balance and all those types of things. So the more we can bolster those resources, the better we can have employees that are truly well, if that makes sense.
No, it does. It does. And what I you went to the word in what you just shared and used the word whole, but after you first few words of your response, I just thought holistic because you are who you are wherever you
That's
are.
right.
And if
That's
we
right.
don't address who you are and people feel that we care about them as a person, a whole person, and support that, then that's where that ties in. So it's not like we can cut
Absolutely.
uh, to put certain categories of life, shut this off. Wherever the
Mm-hmm.
person is, what's going on with the person, totally. So that's what it's about. So thank you for that, and I really love you sharing how you think that well-being, that term has sort of gotten out. There are lots of terms like that, right? Where something
Yeah.
becomes sort of a buzzword, and then it just gets sort of blown out of proportion. And this is why we want to have some of these conversations to narrow it,
Absolutely.
and educate people on what it really means, what we want everybody here to understand what it means, and what we're trying to do. So this next one, uh, I think everybody can probably relate to this because there's not an organization, public or private, large or small, honestly, that I'm aware of that has all the resources that they need, all the people that they need. It's not going through a lot of change. That a lot of things are happening. So it's not just our organization. It's everywhere. It's the world that we're living in right now. So
Right.
with that in mind, and talking about dealing with that whole person, how what would you suggest for employees of how they can balance supporting each other's engagement while protecting themselves from burnout? That word.
Mm.
And even if you want to tease out from
Yeah.
your
So that's a
expertise,
loaded
burnout,
question.
what does that mean? I know it. I know it.
Burnout. We'll come back to the question, but so we'll take it in pieces if that's
Okay.
okay.
No, please.
Burnout, I would define that as operating outside of your capability for longer than you should be. There are going to be situations where we all kind of have to meet the need, and so I understand that. But we never want to make it the norm to operate outside of where we are truly capable of doing. That's when we get into that burnout space. So, and if I am interpreting the question correctly, when we tie it back to employee engagement and protecting ourselves against burnout, I think one of the first things that we can do is communicate, right? I even tell my team, I can't fix what I don't know, right? And so, how are we communicating? So make sure we're communicating with leadership, hey, this is what I'm capable of. This has gone beyond that line. And being introspective and taking accountability for where we really are. Some of us cape up and want to just attack it and do it. And we suffer in silence, but we're still suffering, right? So that's where that communication piece comes in. But it's also a bit of introspection to say, I need help. It's okay to say you need help. But the biggest piece that I will say, protecting against burnout while strengthening employee engagement, is work your resources. One of my biggest challenges, and we'll frame it positively.
Okay. I
one
like
of
that.
one of my biggest challenges is whatever in wellness and EAP is a division that touches every department in the city. So whether it's public works or library or airport, you name it, when we're engaging with employees and they simply say, "Well, we just didn't know that was available to us," that like it's like a knife to the heart because we've worked so hard to put these resources out, and that just shows me there's still work to be done on our end to make sure employees know about them. So know and take advantage of your resources. I'll try to avoid some shameless plugs, but I think it's relevant. No, I do. I think
That's
it's
why
relevant to
you're
talk
here.
about. Yeah, that's why I'm all right.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Well,
Yes.
not shameless plugs. So for instance, we just initiated earlier this year a partnership with Headspace. So all of our employees can log on to Headspace for free. It's my favorite word, for free, and take advantage of the full suite of the Headspace app. You may have seen their commercials on TV or what have you.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
and so these are things people don't know about. But you can log on, put your credentials in, the organizational code, and forgive me, I don't have all that stuff here, but I can definitely send it. It can be distributed. And have access to meditation support, sleep support, and all those types of things. We have the external EAP. You're feeling burnt out, call the external EAP. If it's a work-related issue, call the internal EAP. These are resources that are available to our employees that help in that management and maintenance space before a crisis is reached, before burnout is reached, those types of things. We have a myriad of resources on our wellness side. So again, we're talking about knowing our resources, increasing engagement, and protecting against burnout. I saw earlier in the chat people talking about taking a walk. We have a walking club. We have a move spring program where you can track your steps and participate in some of our challenges that we put out on a monthly basis. So there's resources that the organization and I can't I got to shout out my leadership because I can't do anything
Yes.
without green
Yes.
lights.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and that's from the mayor's administration, city council, all the way down through HR. Leadership has empowered us to take advantage of these resources or to have these resources. It's just up to us as employees to educate ourselves and then take advantage of them. So when y'all see those Wellness Wednesday emails, read them. Read the emails. There's really good stuff in there.
Wonderful. And I didn't know about the Headspace. Headspace is
Yes,
awesome. I don't,
and
is
I just
that
saw it,
fairly
and I'm
new as
sorry.
far as us having the full
It is.
suite? Because,
It is relatively new. I think in
okay.
January we officially launched. And again, there were emails. No, but
Yes, yes, yes.
I know we're busy. I know
Understood.
how
We
it is.
get
I know
like
how it is.
10,000. But yes,
But just a
understood.
quick, quick 10-second blurb. You may have seen some of these apps that are popping up now. Headspace is one of those where you go in. They do kind of a assessment. How are you feeling? What are some things that give you stress, that give you anxiety, and then give you just some really high level tools and resources, whether it's meditation, whether it's any kind of guided reading. They have things on how to improve your sleep and how that
Yes, yes,
impacts our mood and behavior. So it's all high level. It's not clinical. You're not giving out any personal information or anything like that. And it's completely free for our City of Houston employees. So let us know. And like I said, I'll follow up. I'll have our team follow up with a full packet of resources so we can make sure we get that sent out to everybody who's on the call. But yeah,
that's great. That's great.
this is just an ad.
That's great. Yeah, it's an awesome app. I've taken advantage of it in other organizations. It's cool
Absolutely.
and very easy. You know, I love it. They make it fun as well. All right, awesome, awesome. So, talking about working your resources, right? Let's go down that line. And you mentioned
Mhm.
internal and external EAP. This next question sort of focuses on some of that because we know, and you know more than I do from research and the numbers and the specific data behind it. There, especially in certain communities, there's a stigma with reaching out, asking for help with even using mental health resources. So we have internal and external. But my question goes to um, what do you do to build trust so employees feel safe utilizing EAP or any other mental health resources?
That's a great question. And I will be honest. I'll always be candid and keep it real. That is an uphill battle. That is an uphill battle because there is so much stigma around mental health. We have seen, and I kind of hate to keep going back pandemic again. Since the pandemic, we've seen more of a propensity for people to reach out, to engage in mental health services just across the board. Not necessarily just across the board. Specifically here for us as city employees, though, I think we carry a particular burden. And being able to talk with someone who understands that is a really, really great resource. So I'm speaking more right now about the internal EAP.
Okay,
So it's
okay,
primarily for work related issues. Yes, you get up to 8 sessions. It's assessment and referral. So what does that mean? It means you come, tell us what's going on, and we will work with you on how to get you to some deeper services if needed to address your issue. So it's not meant to be long term therapy or anything like that, but it is to be an outlet to a resource. When you speak about trust, the best thing I can say is give us a try. We are governed by the same HIPAA laws. We are governed by the same confidentiality standards that as if you were to go to your actual, doctor or provider or mental health consult outside of the city. So we're judged by that same confidentiality. So if Sean comes to the EAP, one, the EAP cannot even confirm I had an appointment unless I give consent. So your supervisor can't call, oh, is Sean over there at the EAP? He know he's supposed to be back. No, 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 no. We don't even confirm the existence of an appointment without consent. So again, it's that same level of patient provider confidentiality that you would see anywhere. Trust me, we get in trouble and lose our licenses if we don't. So it's something we take very seriously. As far as the external EAP, that is a true counselor or clinician patient relationship as well once you find a counselor and lock in with that. So that's completely confidential also. They don't share back with us who called the external EAP. We don't get any of those types of report. We get numbers. So again, I'm
okay.
always going to be honest. We'll say, this month 200 people contact the external EAP. We don't know who these people are. We don't know what department they work in. They don't send us there, anything like that. Definitely not any information on what was discussed or any claims that were put in, anything like that. So all of that is kept completely confidential. And what I'll say, just overall, as it relates to trust in mental health and kind of breaking down that stigma, it's going to come out some way. It's going to come out some way. And I think research has showed it. But just look, if anyone on the call, you don't have to be a clinician or a scientist. Just think about your own life, think about those close to you, and think about some of the things that you've seen manifested in your friends, your family, your neighbors, whatever, your church members, whoever it is. When you hold that stuff in, you don't ask for help, you don't seek any services, it's going to come out some way, whether it's in loneliness, depression, anger, anxiety. Sometimes it even manifests itself physically. You have some of these chronic diseases being exacerbated and made worse because we're holding on to things. So, again, yes, you may feel trepidatious, and I understand the stigma, but you're only hurting yourself if we don't let go and at least ask for help and start on that process. So
Yeah.
that's my little spiel, but it's really, really vitally important that we seek those services if you feel the need to do so.
Okay, that's beautiful, beautiful, and this is one reason we wanted you to come on so you'd have a platform to share some of these things. So anything that you, no
I
shameless
appreciate it.
plugs today. All right, this is just
Absolutely.
another
All
venue
right.
to get the word out, and everyone else that's on the call, share this. When you get the recording, you can share that as well. So, in your experience, what do you see as some of the most common sort of wellness related barriers that impact employees' ability to stay engaged at work?
Whew. That's another loaded question. That's a loaded
We
question.
come loaded. We come loaded.
No, I know. I liked it. I think 'cause unless we talk about these things, we're not going to expose them and make
Correct.
them better. Some of the things that we see, and you kind of touched on it. I'll keep it broad. Is that burnout piece? That is the piece. I think the perception is that we are asked to do so much with so little, and we don't always get and feel the support. That's one of the reasons why, whether it's on the wellness side or the EAP side, we do a number of supervisors and managers trainings, teaching supervisors, teaching managers how to recognize some of these quote unquote symptoms from their employees. When the engagement is low, there's always a reason why. There's always a reason why. Very few people, I try not to speak in absolutes, but very few people, I believe, I'm just naive enough to believe, very few people wake up and say, how can I be terrible today? Most people wake up and they want to do a good job. They want to feel good about what they're doing. They want to put their best foot forward. And so, if there is something preventing them from being engaged, from doing their best, it's likely because they're not, something else is going on. Now, maybe it could be personal, but it also could be something going on at work, et cetera, et cetera. And so, again, I think it's incumbent upon us as supervisors, managers, leaders to kind of be aware and be in touch with those things. But again, that's one of the most common things we see, the burnout piece. They expect me to do everything while so and so next to me does nothing. We get that kind of feedback a lot. I think a lot of it, again, is centered around some of the things I mentioned earlier, us not communicating, not working our resources, and not understanding when to ask for help and say, hey, I need help.
Right. Awesome, awesome. So let's bring it down to sort of some really relevant, simple, practical things that any of us on the call, some practical steps that any of us could take throughout a day, you know, to without adding more pressure to our day. But what are some of those checks and simple things that we could do, anyone could do that could help with our overall real sense of well-being as a person?
I love some of the things you talked about, or that was posed. I think it was the poll question earlier. Some of the things
Yes,
they do, and I,
yes.
I wasn't able to get in the chat on time, but I do this also. Take a walk. Take a walk. It breaks up the monotony of your day. It can increase your heart rate just a little bit, get some endorphins flowing, and give you a little boost to get back to it. So that's something real practical. Most people can do. Take a walk or step away and those types of things. Shameless plug. We have our virtual City Fit program. Yes. You can log in and do a 15-minute at your desk workout. Great way to break up the monotony of your day again. Get the heart rate up, get those endorphins flowing. But beyond that, I know we always hear those in the box things. Oh, you want to meditate, you want to do those kind of things. If that works for you, great. Um, I would say do anything that you can that shifts your the focus of your or of the stressor,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we all have stressors. Maybe emails coming in as you answer one, two more come in. What can you do? I always like to put the ball back in the other's court. What can you do that shifts the focus of the stressor? So if that email is your stressor, minimize that window, take your 15-minute break, whatever the case may be. If your supervisor is your stressor, unfortunately, even still there may be some things you could do in that moment to just recenter yourself so you can
Yeah.
have the best possible best possible response. So I don't want to get too prescriptive. Oh, do this, do that, because everybody's different. Different things work for different people. But
Correct. Correct.
whether it's do a quick meditation, sometimes I'll listen to a song. I'm a big music lover, so I'll put a song on and say,
Yes.
"Oh yeah, there we go, there it is." Sometimes
Yes.
that music therapy helps. Call your spouse. Well, be careful with that. But call someone
Someone that
and
makes you feel good most of the
that makes
time.
you feel
Yeah.
good. All
Yeah.
right, there you go.
Okay.
There you go. We'll say it like that.
All
We'll say
right.
that. Call somebody, and check in, those types of things. Be careful with this one. But if it's okay, pull out your phone, look at something inspirational. Don't doom scroll on social media because that'll only make it worse. But use your phone as a tool to release that stress as well, when it's healthy to do so. But there's a lot of little things that we can do throughout the day to kind of but again, I'm whole person. And it's not just
Yes.
the 8 hours that we're sitting here at our desk. So how have you set yourself up to deal with your stressors even before you got to work? What do I
Yes.
mean? Did you get a good night's rest?
Yes.
Did you
Yes.
have a full and complete and nutritious breakfast?
Mm.
Did you have a big carb load at lunch, which makes you feel sleepy and makes it harder to deal? Now you have to have that third cup of coffee, right? So our diet, our nutrition, how much we're exercising, all that ties in, how we're sleeping. All of our habits outside of work tie in. And you may be thinking, oh, I'm so stressed at work. But if we're doing things outside of work that help bring our overall stress level down, we'll be better equipped to deal with the stressors at work.
Beautiful. 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 I love it. So, next question. What advice would you give our catalysts? And that's basically everybody on the call. Everybody we consider a catalyst because every individual in this organization can be a catalyst for change. Okay, even if it's
Absolutely.
just changing something in ourselves, changing one thing, but all of us we consider to be catalysts. So, what advice would you give about anyone's role, their voice, how their voice plays in shaping wellness related improvements across the city of Houston? And wrap maybe towards the end of your response, I do want to give you some time as well. It's been over a year now, but for you to really talk about what's available at our fitness center
Absolutely.
as well,
Absolutely.
because I see a lot of this sort of maybe came from some of the voices and things that were heard that were needed. But talk about how their voice can play a role and how you guys look to improve what you offer across the city.
Absolutely. So we have over 20,000 employees here. And between wellness and EAP, we're talking about a team of 12 people. All right. So I say that to say we cannot change or impact the culture of 20,000 people alone. So we have our EWAC members. If we have any of them on the call, shout out to you all. We have our wellness ambassadors. If there are any here, again, shout out to you. Everyone can be a wellness ambassador. So to the point of your question, um, be the change you want to see. If you want to work at an organization that has a healthy culture, mimic that culture. If you want to work in an organization where we're supportive of one another, be supportive. If you want to work in an organization where whether it's turning the curve, being beacons, or some of the things that have come out of I&E and some of the other studies we've done, mimic that behavior. in your sphere of influence, no matter how big or small it may be, and it will make a difference. I'm just not naive enough to believe that. But as far as what are some tangible, actionable items we can take to help spread this culture of wellness that we're trying to thing is one, stay educated. Read the emails.
Yes.
We're back to the email. But no, no, no. I understand we're busy. We're busy. But stay educated. We have a
Yes.
program on that just launched right now, literally here at 611 Walker. So want y'all to get all this great information. And those that are in 611 Walker, go down to the garden level. We're having our stress relaxation relaxathon event in the garden level today. Little things, stay educated, but speak to your employees. Hey, did you know wellness was doing that? Hey, you look like you're, going through some things. I'm not gonna get in your business. Do you know the city has an EAP program? Hey, I heard you going back and forth with the, insurance company. Have you reached out to the benefits team? We have a great team that can support you. Be a resource. And again, I'm not asking anybody to get anybody's business. I'm not asking anybody to get clinical and become their counselor, anything like that. But be a resource. Again, we know the pressures that we all have as city employees, but when we work together, when we collaborate, when we look out for one another, it makes all the difference. You mentioned the wellness center. For those working in downtown departments and that can get to City Hall. It is a great, great resource. There's a lot going on at the Wellness Center, and that's why we call it the Wellness Center. It's not just a gym, right? And so, yes, there is exercise equipment there, a full suite of exercise equipment. So, no matter what your level of fitness may be or you aspire to be, we have equipment there that can meet your need. But beyond that, we have group fitness classes going on 5 days a week. And what I love about the group fitness classes, yes, you're gonna break a sweat. Yes, you get your heart rate up, but it's also community. Community. And I don't mind when people do this. So, by the way, I've been stopped in the tunnels. Hey, you need to bring back the 6 o'clock class because I miss my people. I'm like, oh yes, I'm so sorry. Yes, ma'am. And
Right,
so those
right,
types of
right.
things, that community helps not only on the physical side of keeping us in our routine because I don't want to let my friend down. I don't want to let my coworker down. If
Yes.
she's going, I'm going. That type of thing. But it also helps build that culture of wellness and engagement that we're talking about. Beyond that, we have personal training available. We even have our health coaches available. That is a resource that many of our employees, again, don't know, but those that have taken advantage of it absolutely love it. We have 4 Cigna health coaches on staff as part of our wellness team in the wellness center. And you can coach with them on a myriad of different health related, issues you may be having. So whether it's medication adherence, you just got diagnosed with a chronic disease, you don't know what it means, and you're looking for first steps. Whatever the case may be, they're clinically trained and can help coach you through different scenarios. If you were to seek this service out just on the street, it would cost you anywhere from $65 to $95 an hour. This is coming to you free of charge. And not only is it free, by participating, once you complete your course, your coaching course, you get a $50 gift card. You can't beat that. You
Can't
can't
beat
beat that.
that.
So again, these are all resources that we put in place again to address the whole person, but it's all centering and emanating out of that wellness center. It's kind of our ground zero for all of our, wellness events and initiatives now that we have that space. So whether it's group fitness, whether it's individual workouts, we got Pelotons there, treadmills, stair climbers, ellipticals, free weights, Smith machine, whatever you want looking to do. So if you want to, get big and buff, that's fine. If you want to slim down for the summer, that's fine as well. But if you just want to maintain, it's a great resource for you. And also, like I said, we have the health coach there also. So the Wellness Center, please stop by. We have great staff there that's looking forward to taking care of you.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And we're running on time, so I have two.
Yes.
One sort of a quick question, and then the last I want to just give you some time to share. Um, I'll give you a prompt, some time to share. So,
Okay.
from what you just shared, can you also speak to folks what you guys offer or advise for folks that work out in the field? They might not be located at 611 or near downtown.
Absolutely.
What types of things do you do? Because I know you do other things, and what can be done or requested in field locations so people know it's not
Absolutely.
just there.
And I'm glad you said that word requested. So the short answer, I would refer them to our City Fit program. We have the classes, in-person classes, which take place in the Wellness Center, but we have virtual classes as well, which are also available on demand. So once you sign up and register, you can log in for the live class and participate in the the group fitness class then, or you can watch it on demand at your leisure. So when you get home, in your garage, in your living room, whatever the case may be. So that's one option for those that can't get to 611 Walker or get downtown. But the biggest piece, and again, we can't meet a need that we don't know exists. If you reach out to anyone on the wellness team, the Wellness Connection inbox is wconnection@houstontx.gov, or you can email myself or anyone on the wellness team and say, hey, I'm out here at such and such facility. We would love a one, an on-site group fitness class, or we would love one of our health educators to come out and do a class on diabetes. We would love for y'all to come and do a little mini health fair and just engage with us. Come to our tailgate meetings. I will say I have a dynamic team. I wouldn't be sitting here on this camera
Yeah.
without them. And they're out. They are out. 6 in the morning, Public Works tailgate at McCarty at Dalton. We're there. 7 p.m. at Houston Emergency Center. We're there. But we have to know. We have to
Yeah.
know. So again, that's where the communication piece comes back into play. Let us know. We'll schedule it, get it set up. We'll get the appropriate approvals because we're not gonna come and kick down the door unless we got the right
Right, right,
approvals.
right, right, right,
But
right.
once we have all that in place, we will be glad, so much be glad to come out and engage with all of our employees. Absolutely.
All right. Wonderful, wonderful. So the last thing before we get to our wrap up, and I turn it back over to our phenomenal team, is I want to give you an opportunity to sort of leave um, a takeaway. This is for the 93 people that I see on here right now. What would you want to say and leave with them based on everything we've talked about to take away today as it relates to wellness, engagement, just a summary from Sean?
Woo. All right. um, if I could summarize everything, I would just say I know what you all are dealing with because I'm dealing with it. I know what we as city workers are going through because I go through it as well. Um, but health again doesn't start when you clock in. So when we talk about, and I said it before, when we talk about whole person, holistic health, when we talk about well being just across the board, it's more about our behaviors as it relates to health than any one initiative or program or those types of things. So I would say is kind of those parting words, take care of your whole self, not just at work, not just at home. We like to compartmentalize like that, but they bleed together. Take care of your whole self. Self care is not selfish. Take care of your whole self.
Ah,
We hear every time we get on a plane, what do they tell you? Secure your mask before you put it on somebody or you help somebody else with theirs. I can't help you while I'm suffocating and can't breathe.
yeah,
So secure your mask, take care of your whole self,
yeah,
or take advantage of all the resources available to you through our programs or anywhere else to take care of your whole self. I know we have families and kids and aging parents and spouses and partners and neighbors and communities that rely on us, but I can't help anybody from a hospital bed. So
that's it.
please take care of your whole self, take advantage of all your resources, and let us know how we can support you because that's literally what we're here to do.
Outstanding. Listen, my t shirt is self care is not selfish. Okay,
That's
I
right.
see it.
That's
We need
right.
to copyright that and put it out.
Just let me make
I
sure I
can
get
see it.
10%. Just give me
Of
10%.
course, of
Let me.
course, of course. But listen, everyone, would you please, did you enjoy that conversation? Would you please join me in giving Sean a round of applause for everything that he shared today? Because it was wonderful. Knew it would be. I'm sure you could feel. How many of you feel the passion in this man? for taking care of us. They're trying to take care of us, help us take care of ourselves. All right. So let me turn it over to my team. And it might be something in the chat, but thank you, Sean. And Sean, if you'll do this and stay on, they're
Yes,
going to do some wrap up. But if you
absolutely,
can
absolutely.
place some of your links, like the link to your site in our chat that points everybody to a lot of the resources, I think that would
Absolutely.
be great. And then we can then follow up with the packet that you're going to put together for everyone that was on the call. But that can get them started. All right.
Absolutely.
So let me turn it back over to the team. Thank you so much for being here with us. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, Sean. Well, we have a couple of questions for you. Let's see. Miss Betty is saying it's essential. This may be a comment, I'm not sure. It is essential to ensure we establish a secure environment where employees feel comfortable sharing their work and personal challenges with their manager. This will assist the manager with better understanding the employee and to be able to provide the support needed. Sean, did you want to say anything or?
No, Miss Betty as always is spot on. For those that don't know, Miss Betty, my partner in crime over there in benefits, and she does great work as well, and she's a value to all of us. But she's spot on, and that's why we are seeing we're attempting and striving to make sure our supervisors and managers are well trained on how to engage the EAP when needed. And Miss Betty can tell you we deal with some heavy stuff. Our employees are dealing with some heavy things. But again, that's our purpose. That's our purpose, is to be there for them. So she's spot on with that. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Betty and Sean. Okay. Stephanie says we need mental health days off throughout the year. Okay. And Dolores has a question, it looks like. How do employees that work in a department that they are driving out in the field, for example, solid waste or parks, without telling their supervisor or manager where they are going for a couple of hours to see EAP?
Very good question. So it's kind of a policy of the EAP, if you will, that first employee is on. I mean, excuse me, the first appointment with the EAP is on city time. I can understand you can't just up and leave, but I would encourage you to utilize lunch breaks, those types of things. We are working, knock on wood, to make sure teletherapy is in place. Once we get that going, hopefully in sometime this summer, you can log on from your phone in a secure place and be able to kind of engage with the EAP that way. So we're working on some things. I understand it may be touch and go, but again, and I hate to beat this dead horse, but it also goes back to us reaching the supervisors and managers and training them and letting them know, hey, the employee is coming to us, they need this time. At the very most, you may have to disclose that you're coming to the EAP, but that still does not, we still will not tell the supervisor what the issue is, or anything that's discussed. That part will still stay confidential. And we have a form for that. There's a formal process if you do want to disclose that you've been coming. But everything happens with the employee's consent. So we're working on it. I wish I had a better, nailed down answer to that question, but we are working on putting some things in place to make it easier for those in the field to engage with the EAP.
Okay, thank you, Sean. And I see that there are two questions or comments right now. We have time for one more question. Are the health coaches available to employees who have an outside insurance carrier?
Very good question. So at this time, no, you do need to be on the city's medical plan. Whatever plan you have is fine, but at this time, you would need to be on the city's medical plan to engage with our health coaches directly. However, um, give us a call anyway if you don't have the benefit. Um, I can get creative. So let me know. Again, I'm about support. I'm about support. Yes, we fall in line with all of our protocols and procedures, but we also can be very creative in connecting you with resources, even if it's community resources or working with your provider directly to make sure that you're supported. So let us know.
Okay. And as I mentioned, we only have time for this question, but I do want to mention that Ricardo has an additional comment. So we'll get that comment or a question to you after the webinar is over, if that's
Okay,
okay with you, Sean.
absolutely.
All right. All right. Okay. Sounds great. Now let's see what's next we have in store for you. it is time for our polls. So let's pull up the polls. As the polls come up, the question is right here on the screen. How familiar are you with the city's wellness and EAP resources? It's launching now. Let's see what you have to say. How familiar are you? 80% are saying somewhat familiar. No, it's now, let's see, 59% are saying somewhat familiar, 12% saying I've heard of them but don't know the details. And if the numbers are changing constantly, and then 27% very familiar. All right, let's see what that next question is. Which area, this is the second poll, which area of personal well-being do you currently find the most challenging to maintain? Is it your physical well-being through movement, nutrition, and rest? Emotional well-being through stress, resilience, and connection? Work-life balance or consistency? Starting is easy, sticking with it is harder. See what you're saying. It looks like so far 48% are saying it's no, it's 42% now. Physical well-being, the movement, nutrition, and rest, which just dropped down to 40%. 17% are saying emotional well-being, dealing with stress, resilience, and connection, and 23% work-life balance. And our last poll, it's taking a little time to come up. What is one wellness step you feel most ready to take in the next week? Is it scheduling a short daily break, connecting with a wellness or EAP resource, setting a small personal health goal, or checking in with a colleague to encourage well-being? What do you think? Okay, the results are coming in. It looks like still moving. 31% are saying scheduling a short daily break. 18% connecting with the wellness or EAP resource, Sean, and 43% are saying setting a small personal health goal, and 9% are going to be a resource. They're going to check in with their colleagues. Thank you so much. Give yourselves a round of applause for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you for participating. Okay. And the key takeaways, I believe Sean has done a great job with the key takeaways, but Onyinye, did you have anything to add for the key takeaways?
Sean did do, oh, getting this technology situated. Thanks for passing that back to me, Consuela. Sean did do an amazing job with those key takeaways. I'd like to just go ahead and summarize and possibly put a few of them in the chat so that participants can read along and maybe copy it into a document if they need to. But a whole person, whole impact. When you're supported in every part of your life, you perform at your best. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Self-care is essential to sustaining how you show up for others, and balance takes intention. Well-being requires conscious, ongoing effort, and then use what's available. Take advantage of the resources and support designed for you. Back to you, Consuela.
All right, thank you, Onyinye. And speaking of health and wellness and whole person support, we are sharing this change fatigue assessment tool. Someone will drop that in the chat, which is a quick assessment checklist to check on your team energy level. So this could be for team leaders or managers. What is the team energy level? And then the change impact scale. This is a VUCA environment. So what's the impact of that on your team, on yourselves individually? And resource strain indicators. I think Denise mentioned something about resources in one of her questions. So with the resources being, if there are resources strained where there's people, time, money, what are some of those indicators? And then some mitigation strategies for either high fatigue, moderate fatigue, or low fatigue. So please check that out. The toolkit is in the chat. And with that said, We want to talk about our lead pathways. These are different learning opportunities for you here through CPLL, whether it's NEO, New Employee Orientation, or some of our Power Up courses, or our Thought Partnerships or Hope MCA. These are different learning pathways for you. So some of these are new opportunities as well as opportunities that have always existed. So please check that out at the CPLL in the course catalog. And our next episode will be our special guest, Laurie Hall, who is the CEO and founder of New Horizon Strategies. And it's all going to be centered around navigating with purpose. So we won't be focused on a driver next time, which is going to be different and unique, but it's all about navigating with purpose. So you'll want to be sure to come and stay tuned for that. All right. If we can, thank you for joining us today. We ask that you make your voice heard. It's all about empowering you through conversation. So we want to hear what you have to say. So that way we can shape and mold future opportunities for you. So the QR code is on the screen and the link is in the chat, or it will be soon. Make your voice heard. What did you think about today's episode? Okay, now we're going to stick around as you complete your evaluations. Please do. And with that said, let's drop the beat.